Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gwavasig and this is my top 10 list of 2024. I hope you enjoy. Before we get into the list, just a few games that did not make it this year for various reasons, starting off with Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, the remake. I loved my time with Brothers, but this one, because it was a remake, will not be making my top 10 list. Another game is V-Rising, even though we have played hundreds of hours of this game this year, and it really is a fantastic game. It already made my top 10 lists of last year, so it will not be making its way onto this list. Number 10, Angerfoot. This game kicked its way into my top 10 list of 2024 just by being itself. Strange, funky, and with some great music. The game is divided into several missions, each with their own victory conditions. The more of these you can complete, the more stars in this mission you will collect. By using these stars you can unlock different shoes, and with these shoes you can do various things, as becoming immortal, or by running and jumping in midair, or by going a slide kick, for instance. By using these shoes you can go faster, or kick faster, or complete a mission in a different way you didn't even think you could. So the aim of the game is to kick through doors and smash your enemies before they shoot you. There are several guns also in the game, but it's more focused on kicking. You can even kick back grenades if I was better. And you can also shoot some of these guns. You can pack quite a punch, but throwing and kicking is definitely your better bet, as some enemies definitely can hurt you. And some of the humor in the game is quite on par. Some of the craziest things. So you go through kicking and destroying these guys' lives. The story is all about like if the world was the opposite of what it is, and bad things were actually good things, and good things were bad things. So your shoes were actually stolen, and you are on your mission to go and grab them back. Let's see how many of these we can drink. You can drink some energy boosters, and that also changes the gameplay. Oof. And all this time trying to survive, because you can easily get kicked and your run will be ruined. Luckily it is very fast paced and you can quickly get back into the action. Maybe try a different pair of shoes, or maybe a different tactic altogether. Well, just from all the action and carnage that you can do in this game, this little game quickly kicked its way into my top 10 list of 2024. Number 9, The Forever Winter. Welcome to the Forever Winter. This game is a looter-shooter extraction game, where the aim of the game is to survive in a war-torn battle where you are but a mere scavenger in the game. There are several things you can do in the hub area, such as change your character. I like playing as the old man as he has the best equipment for scavenging. He can carry up some interesting heavy containers on his back. If we look at some of the other characters, some of them are more focused on the weapons, for instance. All of these characters can be upgraded individually by gaining experience while you are looting in the world. Every time that you have successfully gained enough experience to prestige, your character will then reset their skills, and then you will have to gain some more experience to level them up again. Then there are several quests that you can attempt to do, such as defeating enemies, killing monsters, finding certain things, collecting books, for instance, or by finding and destroying pieces of turrets, or finding components in the world. You can also play this game solo or with friends. There are several areas that are currently available in the early access, with some new areas just recently added from the time of this recording. There are also several vendors where you can buy several types of weaponry. Each of these weapons can then be taken into the field and leveled up, customized, change up your gameplay. So to load out, we need to get some ammunition. We will just add it to our backpack. Normally you would have starting off with quite a small backpack, but we have leveled up and we have got ourselves a really big backpack. Yeah, we will grab some ammunition, grab some more ammunition for our rifle. So yeah, we need 54R, and we'll need some medkits. And then we'll be ready to go. Maybe a tactical scammer, so that we can spot the enemy before they spot us. This game is all about stealth, running when you need to, and shooting tactfully, as they will be able to see and hear you as soon as you do. Let's jump into the game and see if I can show you a little bit of it. Right, we are loaded into a map here. Our main objective on this one to retrieve some drone components. If there are some drones that might spawn here, well, we'll try and take them out. Or most likely we will try and find some battle where there's some drones fighting, and maybe they can take each other out and we'll just scavenge for the parts. Using our scanner, we can easily see where the enemy are running. We need to be quite careful in this game, because we are not really made out for fighting as in many other games. We can definitely fight ourselves, but we are more focused on finding loot, scavenging, and finding some ammunition. There are several different types of units and monsters and creatures in this game, all fighting themselves. From cyborgs to giant mechs and flying contraptions, while all looking beautiful. We always just need to keep a lookout, as we can quickly fall victim to any of these things trying to take us out. Luckily we had some extra medkits, and we managed to escape with our lives intact on this one. Maybe we won't be so lucky on the next one. Several squads of enemies walk and patrol in the areas, and you can wait tactfully for them to move past, or we can try and take them out. Doing so can be rewarding, but also can be very dangerous at the same time. And there is one of the battles right now. So we can have a look, maybe see who has a victory over whom, and try and stay safe down here before we move on. Maybe try and collect some of their loot. Might be a little dangerous with this chopper flying around. But maybe we can find something. Some ammunition. I think I'll just take all the animation. When you do so, you cannot see what the ammunition is unless you drop them on the floor again. But we'll maybe loot it over here. We can see, oh, there's some components, maybe some magazine and weapon upgrades. These shotgun bullets are also very useful. I'm currently using a shotgun. Having more bullets is always great. But also, using your time sparingly, like looting everything, if you have the capacity to do so, is a very useful strategy to get in and out pretty quickly. Let's see if we can grab some more loot and then make our way to the exit. Normally staying low and moving carefully can definitely save your life. Fighting is also a valuable option, but they will hear you and they will come for you. So maybe adding different attachments to weapons to make them more silent, make them better, is a viable strategy. We are heading closer to an extraction port now. There are several enemies there. Maybe we will shoot our way through them and show you some of the combat. With our trusty shotgun, we made quick work of them. But that will definitely raise the alarm. So we're gonna grab all their stuff and get out of here. Here they come. Some cyborgs. And beautiful. We will extract with our lives intact and make it back to the base. After each successful mission, you will see your stats, your kills, your experience, and what you've retrieved and how long it took. If you do fall over in a map, you will have an opportunity to go back and retrieve some of your loot, but most of the time you will definitely lose all your things that you've acquired during that match. And there we are, so all the loot we required. We can just move them to a stash and then we can sell them to the vendors for profit. So this little game quickly grabbed its way right into my top 10 list as well, just from all the crazy things that can possibly happen. Even though you are not the hero, this little game made itself a hero on my top 10 games of 2024. Number 8, The Thaumaturge. This is a story-driven RPG with many choices to be made. Set in alternative 20th century Warsaw, you take the role of Victor Schutzky, a master of mystical arts who can look into the hearts and minds of others, looking for their deepest emotions. He controls these powerful creatures and uses them in combat. A beautifully handcrafted world. We can walk around and interact with many objects and characters.
We came for Rofe. Let's take this one too. We'll put them both to the torch.
I bet he's in cahoots with the other one. You can tell he's the same kind of vermin as the Jew. Put fire to them, boys.
Stand back, Granny. It's gonna get gory.
Many choices you make will have different consequences and will thus unlock different choices.
Rafa is dead. You're late.
But you're still here. Get him.
Sometimes evil results in combat. So this game goes into different turns. As you can see, different rounds when our enemy will act, and we will also be able to see when we are going to be acting. So we normally have a quick and a heavy attack, and we have a mental attack. If we break down the enemy's mental fortitude, they will be partially stunned and susceptible to a lot of damage. We also need to break through some of their defenses, since this enemy has a recovery trait. When we attack him with one of our monsters called the Deadlock, it will disable this trait and we will be able to fight him even more efficiently. So for instance, if we do punch this character here, we will also get a risk of getting a hidden negative state applied to us. So if we do a quick attack and then switch to the Deadlock, and then we'll do a mournful tones which will remove all our negative effects and transfer them to the enemy. As you can see, we hit the opponent, we got stunned, and then we transferred our stun over back to the enemy. So this is how you can plan and manipulate the battle, even if it seems unwinnable. Let's see, for this one, we need to attack him with the Uber. So if we switch here, we can change our monster. And this ability will allow us to heal slightly, and thus breaking his resistance. And then we'll be able to do straight up more damage to him. There we go, we have defeated our enemy, and we have gained some experience. We can use those points to level up in our skill tree, where we can unlock different skills and abilities and actions and reactions for our character and our monsters. Focusing on the heart, the mind, the deed, and the word. Each one of these skill trees can be upgraded, and they unlock some different choices in dialogue as well. A big part of the game is also the dialogue and the exploration, speaking to different characters, advancing the story, and choosing options that could either benefit or affect you in some way.
You've known me better than anyone for so many years. You were always with me, and you always will be. We have to talk about our future. Any ideas? Let's not waste any more time.
Number 7. Enshrouded. This is a survival, crafting, and action RPG combat game with a voxel world for you to terraform as you please. You can journey through mountains and deserts and open worlds, and your path will shape your destiny. So the main object of the game is when you start with nothing and try to gain more power to quench this land from the mist. So all over the world there are these misty areas called the Shroud, and you have to go into the Shroud and find the things spawning the Shroud and destroy it. If we head into this grotto here, we might find some enemies, we might find some treasures, but we definitely will find a way to break down the Shroud in this area. Let's see what we can find. I found some bugs. Let us smash all these bugs. And some enemies. We use the proper axe. Chop down the shrouded tree and quench this area. Stop this fog from spreading. Once we have done so, we can collect all the goodies from these creatures. See if we can find a chest or two, maybe hidden in this cave. We can then come back and build complex and interesting homes for us to live in. There are several characters that we can find and help with quests, and they will provide us with benefits such as alchemy stations, food, and equipment. Building this game is quite impressive as well. Many different structures and designs can be built. If we look at all the things we can build, there are different shapes and foundations that can be made, and different materials that can be used, even from bones to bricks to wood and so forth. And then there are several placeable furniture that you can be placed anywhere in your home. For instance, some tables, rugs, wall, desks, stools, and many more. All you have to do is drag them and then place them down. There are also many different places to reach and discover. Great map to explore and places to be and see. And a glider to make it so much easier. From forests and hills and desert wasteland, or on top of a frozen mountain. I cannot wait to discover what else is hidden beneath the shroud. Number 6, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This one caught me quite by surprise this year. I'm very surprised to see it in my top 10 list, but I really enjoy this one. From the moment we picked it up till the very end, Well, we spent 12 hours almost on a final stream this year. So it was so entertaining, I couldn't put it down. But what is it? It is supposed to be a stealth game, but we don't necessarily have to do any stealth. Let me show you some of the stealth. There are several sections around the world where you can sneak in and find valuables,
Be a bad idea.
such as this section over here. There's a comic book, The Tales of the Dread. You can collect these for
Gonna be all over this.
You can collect these for points and open some of these containers for valuable money that you can use to upgrade your character. If we sneak back this way, might be able to find a way around. Some more remedy bottles. These bottles are useful to purchase some books, and these books you use to upgrade your character. Oh. But often it all ends up with you just fighting your way through some of these guys. You can obviously move and hide bodies like in most stealth games, but many times you don't have the opportunity or chance to do it. Often in these big areas you can quickly get knocked out if you are not careful. So using objects you throw to lure enemies into certain locations is probably your best bet. You can also find many books scattered around the world, and you will need to do so if you want to upgrade your character and have any chance of fighting this game in higher levels. As you can see, these books that we just unlocked can deal increased damage to armed in hand-to-hand and melee combat, and we'll use some of the points we gathered from taking pictures and finding valuables to unlock this ability. Slightly upgrading our character. Also, all scattered around the world are different mysteries. As you can see, here is a shipment report, and new mystery
Confidential.
will be added to our quest log. We can then have a look at it and see if we can solve this new mystery.
That's it.
There are often more than one way to get to your destination. Perhaps a stealthy way, or you could use the more direct approach. You might even decide to use a disguise or to sneak through areas undetected. These disguises can also even be used sometimes to open hidden locations that are sealed off normally. With some beautiful graphics, fast-paced action, this game truly holds up to its movie counterpart. Definitely worth a look for this year.
You're forgiven.
Father, wait, I didn't confess yet.
Hurry, let's get this over with.
Father, forgive me because I've sinned. I had an affair with my mother-in-law and...
It's all right. Just say 3 Hail Marys.
No, Father, you don't understand. My wife is expecting a child and I fear that...
What?
Yeah, let me finish, please. I fear that my mother-in-law is with the child also.
Jesus Christ, what have you done?
Wait. You are not a priest.
Screw it. Sorry, pal, but you kind of deserved it.
Number 5, Deadlock. This is a third-person shooter game in the MOBA genre, similar to Smite and other games like Dota. This is a 6 versus 6 person game with several heroes to choose from and different abilities and items to customize your build. There are several heroes to choose from. Starting off with a wide variety of strange-looking characters.
To witch. Witch is a people. They have wants and dreams. All I have is revenge, and the undying will to see it through.
You can jump right into an open game, or you can create some of your own. It will help you in one of the 4 lanes, where you have a big mech to defend and a smaller mech. And these are essentially your towers. So you need to defend them and at the same time attack your enemy.
Everyone has a plan until a crow tries to peck out your eyes.
Then you have several abilities, 3 abilities, and then 1 ultimate ability. Shooting at the enemy by right-clicking to zoom and left-clicking to shoot. Every character has some kind of range attack. Closer you are to the enemy, the more damage you will do, and headshots definitely do extra damage.
This is just...
You can also hit the opponent with a melee attack if they get close enough, which will do quite a punch and is quite handy in a pinch, or if your hero is built for it. Some heroes are built for melee, and they are quite viable.
ready to take flight.
As soon as you've killed a couple of creeps, these are these candle-looking things running around. After you defeat them, they will drop some souls. You can then shoot those souls, or you can wait a couple seconds, and then those souls will appear on your as your money that you can spend. They can also be denied, as you just saw. That bot just denied my creep, but I can do the same, and I can assure that I get the gold by shooting by shooting the soul, I can assure that I can get the gold immediately. But I can also wait a couple seconds and it will automatically be added.
How may I be of service? A little bit of advice.
Then several items can be bought. Also a very interesting thing about this game, you can, when you're not in the shop, you can also stack up and auto buy them as soon as you have the available funds or you are close into the shop. So once I have the money, I'll just quickly be able to run into the shop area and then it'll automatically buy the items for me.
Summoning crows.
You can also make use of altitude and elevation in this game quite successfully. Being able to climb up most things for a nice bird's eye view on the target. There are also several builds that you can follow by finding public builds or creating your own. Each ability can also be upgraded 4 times. Every time they get different bonuses attached to them. All your items are also focused on either damage, such as weapon. For example, the long range will reduce my reloading time and also deal additional weapon damage beyond the minimal distance. Also, you'll have some defensive items that you can buy or ability items that can boost your abilities and strength of those. After you defeat some of the towers, you will also get some extra slots for additional items. Once you die or you need to retreat, you can make quick work use of the zip line and even have a little boost that is available every now and again. Take you back into your base. Yeah, you can also buy items. And quickly jump into a new lane from here. There are also several mobs on the battlefield that you can go and fight if you are strong enough to take them out. There are also pretty cool upgrades and bonuses spread across the map and some additional things that you could do, such as delivering an urn to the other side of the map, which will give you a bonus if you can deliver it in one piece. Then once you are strong enough, you can come and try and fight the boss, and once you have defeated him, you will gain a buff for the whole team.
Has made them fear the sky.
Once you have pushed the enemy into their base, all you need to do is defeat these enemy shrines that protect the boss.
The ritual must continue.
Both sides normally have one. Once both of them are destroyed, you can attack this patron. And once you've taken this patron's health down to 0, we'll have one last chance to defend them inside this here pit. And once you defeat them in the pit, if you can defeat them in the pit, then you will win the fight.
This is just the beginning.
Your commitment is about to be rewarded.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Deadlock. Pretty fun. I really enjoy this one during the time that I spent on it. And I will continue to check it out some more. And I'll keep you in a loop if there's anything interesting happening there. And when it actually releases. But for now, my number 5. Number 4, Hades 2. Another one of my favorite games from Supergiant. Again, this year with an early access title of Hades 2, they blow my expectations out of the water. Very similar to Hades 1, with some great improvements, some new artwork, some new characters, and some new gameplay. There are several new upgrades and methods to improve your character, new ways and new creatures and friends and foes to meet in the world, like this cool little frog,
Let's go.
It seems we have a new disciple.
or maybe this cat. There are also several different weapons and accessories we can have equipped at one time. And each one of them at any given point will have benefits or buffs and bonuses. As we will, if we use this weapon here, we will gain 2 bones per location.
Our numbers grow, and thusly does our strength.
Some old characters from the previous game do return, but they are few.
To have felt the deadly sting of the sister blades. Mayhaps these are the sharpest blades with which I've ever been sliced.
The writing is still just as good as it's always been. And the visual aspects is fantastic. In this game, however, we are trying to defeat the Lord of Time himself, Kronos. By going down, we go and fight Kronos, and by going up, we go into the mortal plane. Several abilities and things unlocked. It gives us the opportunity to go onto the mortal plane without danger.
In shadow I serve, to shadow I return.
We can also set up a couple of testaments and things that we put inactive to make it more difficult or more crazy for us, or gain some extra bonuses.
I'll get you, Kronos.
Once we have entered into the realm, we'll be greeted with a randomly generated world and a randomly generated god to speak to.
You got the sister
indestructible. Light as a feather, too. This is gonna be a treat.
Then a couple of abilities will shown from the selected god, and they will be randomly generated from normal to epic tier. So now we will have upgraded our dash.
Spindles.
Once you have cleared all the enemies in an area, we can proceed to the next area. There are also some bonus mini-games depending on what you have brought in with you on your journey. During the missions, you can collect various resources that can then be spent in the overworld for upgrades and unlocks. Every so often, you will then have a choice between what and where to go. Over here we have health and a power-up. I think we'll need some more health. Every once in a while you might find a shop or someone to speak to. Yeah, you can upgrade by purchasing mini upgrades if you have the money for it. At the end of every level, there will be a boss fight.
Lim and Oros.
Hold. At ease.
You passed this test again. Now, how much farther you can go, we'll see.
At some point you will fall, but then you will reset back into the hub area where you can use your resources you've gained and spend them on different things to help you on your next adventure. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Several trials, many different weapons, abilities, items, objects that can change the way you play. And this is all still early access, so still a lot of it can be improved and expanded upon. But as it stands, my number 4 game of 2024. Number 3, Little Guardsman. In this deduction adventure game, you play as a small hero, covering your dead shifts in the Guardsman shed, and deciding the fate of over 100 different characters. Each day has a royal decree that you need to follow as a basic guideline for the day. Here we are in our Guardsman shed, and here are the tools at our disposal. From the cracking of the whip to an X-ray scanner, or even a true spray. We'll have a couple of energy shards that we can use and distribute for our use today. Adding as many as we have. Some of these crystals work a little bit better than others, some are less reliable. But having at least some of them so we can use to scan and interrogate at the Guardsman shed is very handy.
Yes, it is I, little one, heir to the throne of Petrarch, here before you in the flesh. Please, no need to bow or genuflect. No need to avert your eyes, no. For though I am a crowned prince of the realm, I am a humble man, one of the people. No better even than you, tiny gatekeeper.
So several people will come out to your guardsman post and want entry into the city. You will have a choice to make on each of them. Later on, you can even imprison some of these prisoners, but at the moment we have admit and deny. So we can click on them to interrogate them, and they will speak about their day. Or we can try and phone a friend, asking some of these folks for advice and see what they say.
Is he handsome?
Well...
Is he charming? They say that he's charming.
He has charm for a prince, I guess.
Yes.
I don't mean a wide range.
Oh, never mind. I will see for myself. Send the prince in at once, and for goodness sake, don't talk to him. We wouldn't want you to put him off.
Or maybe we could use a tool to perhaps get the truth. Or maybe see if he is hiding something.
It didn't detect anything. Huh.
Sometimes scanning certain people will reveal certain objects that you can confiscate from them before letting them in or denying them entry.
You'll be glad to know that the opening ceremonies of our newest royal sulfur mine were a complete success. Only 4 deaths, which is far fewer than the last. No matter, we look forward in Petrard. No sense crying over spilt. Well, there it is.
Every time you interact with someone, you can choose to trust, doubt, or tease them about it.
No, indeed. Why, those pathetic working-class miners, best thing they could do is die anyway. Stop taking all that oxygen.
Oh, my thoughts exactly.
God, barf.
Then once you've interrogated, scanned, and prodded, you can make a choice to admit or deny. Consequences are your own to bear.
Did you just deny me?
What on earth are you doing? Since when are you exercising independent thought? I don't care what your opinion of them is. You're to let them through at once. Is that clear?
So your choices makes a huge influence on the game. Let's say we deny one of the main characters' entry into the town.
This insult will not stand. The kingdom of the sprawl has made a powerful enemy today. A powerful, handsome enemy.
And there's our choice come to fruition. The flames lit a fuse of war. Sometimes your actions have immediate consequences like this one, or they might have later ones. Sometimes you will fail, or you will do something bad, and you can just try something different. Perhaps we could use some truth spray.
Oh, I hope this princess is a looker. I never really thought about marriage before, the idea of tying myself down to one person. My mother is getting on and insists that I marry into a prosperous kingdom for the sake of future Petrardian interests. Oh, our kingdom is almost broke, and we need to find someone to foot the bill for all these sulfur mines, or we'll have a riot on our hands.
You can also decide to reverse time and restart the level entirely, or just go back to other people you have spoken to. Now we will let the prince in and see who else comes through the gates.
And with that, it is off to face the princess and destiny. Before I go, can you spot me a $5? I'm afraid I left my wallet in my other pants.
There are always choices to be made. Are we gonna give him some money? Nah.
Is it that you don't have the money, or that you don't want to lend it to me? Oh, smart-ass ticket taker! When I'm king, I'll remember this.
Every character has a couple of stars and an extra seal of approval that you can unlock. Some of them even have items that could be found. Every time you can rewind time and try again.
Good day. I traveled up here with the convoy what was bringing Prince Phineas to the sprawl. I'm not staying long. Just need a place for tonight before I head back to Petrard.
And then you go through all of the characters in the list, either by interrogating them, scanning them, or phoning. Make your choice, or try it again. And that is basically the game in a nutshell. This game has been such a blast. I was laughing, crying playing this game. The humor was spot on, the graphics, art style is fantastic looking. So if you are looking for a point-and-click adventure deduction game where the humor and the comedy is spot on, and it looks pretty good as well, definitely give this one a shot. My number 3, Little Guardsman. Number 2, Space Marine 2. This game was a blast to play this year. It looks amazing, it runs amazing. What a great entry into the Warhammer franchise. It consists of a short campaign, be defeated in a couple of hours. Think about 6 to 8 hours, and you can play it in co-op up to 3 people. Several other missions that you can play afterwards, called the operations. These are just missions you can jump into, or you can play in the campaign or the PvP.
The temple is located inside the dome section of the city. We'll have to land outside and make our approach.
Brace for emergency landing.
Lock armor. Make haste. We have considerable ground to cover.
Absolute spectacle of a game to look at.
Looks like a neurothrope placed on Overwatch inside that building.
I sometimes found myself just staring, watching the scenery and the epic battles raging in the background. There are several enemies to fight in this game, including Tyrannid. Combat is mostly a focus on melee and countering systems. You need to do this so you can regen your shield if it is damaged, because your health does not automatically regenerate, so executing the enemy is vital in your survival. There are several different weapons, grenades and sidearms to mess around with. In the campaign you will be playing as Titus or Gadriel or Charon, and you will be matched up accordingly if you are playing co-op. On higher difficulty it will be essential to use all your abilities and equipment as tactfully as you can, as enemies can quickly bring you down if you are not paying attention. So staying close and executing them when necessary is definitely the way to go. It also looks amazing. You also have special abilities. Titus has a very cool ability which will regen his health for the duration of the ability. Once you play the operations, characters you can play have also different abilities such as the jetpacks, miniguns, and the dialogue between the characters is also very fun and fills the void between each fighting section. There are also very much different enemies that can jump on you from all over. There are also several boss battles during the campaign and the operations. They are quite varied and very interesting, and can be very challenging to defeat.
One less neurothrope and victory is ours, brothers.
As a complete warm-up package, this ticks every box for me, making me super happy and very satisfied that I picked up and played this game this year. Number 1. Dragon's Dogma 2. My favorite game of this year. I definitely couldn't put it down, not even for a second. It has some flaws, but the combat and the abilities and the skills and the companions that you can choose from all are incredible. One of the greatest parts is climbing up onto the giant beasts and executing them. I've not had a similar game give me this kind of experience before. I am almost inclined to go back and give Drains number 1 a shot. Unfortunately, I never played that one back in the day. But this one definitely stole my heart. Several different quests to pick up, and a well-worthy campaign. Different classes and builds that you can go for. I like playing as the spear guy. It's insanely fun and provides great maneuverability. You can even have a whole team of wizards. They even banter and chat with you every now and again. You can either interact with them after a fight. Sometimes, if you're close enough, they will high-five or fist bump you. Just adds a little bit of flavor and makes them feel alive. I spent a whole bunch of time just running around searching for collectibles.
To be found here. We ought to take a closer look.
As you can hear, our companions just reminded us that there might be something close by here. And there's also an indicator that there might be.
I shall see it done. Ah, now here's a surprise.
At least all our efforts weren't for naught. Huh. I'll have to remember to tell my own master about this.
Some creatures have certain weak spots on them that you will need to climb up and hit, or you can shoot with ranged attacks.
This foe was marked to be felled by my master. Now I can report a successful hunt.
Splendid.
And there we have it. The beast has been slain. Much loot for us to pick up. And honor and glory to our name. This is definitely the best game that I've played this year. One of the greatest RPGs that I have had the honor of playing. And definitely in my cup of tea of type of games that I enjoy. I enjoyed many of the story quests, the combat, the discoverability, climbing in the mountains, climbing onto the enemies, and jumping and slashing them up. And then one of the greatest things in this game, exploring and then setting up a camp and cooking some dinner. It just looks so good, so real. It is amazing. Just for that,
The fuel of any adventure.
and just for that, I think it deserves the game of my year. So, there we have it, folks. We have reached the end of the list of my top 10. Thank you so much for making it all this way. You are legends, each and every one of you. I truly hope an amazing 2025 for each and every one of you. There's going to be some great games, going to be some great fun streaming them, and I hope to see each and every one of you there. And until then, do remember, it is the 11th hour.